I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify. What, are there no necromancers in the jury? And we don't have Maya here, so we don't have that as an option. So yeah, I guess no dead people testifying today. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Oh, he's doing the finger thing. Yeah, we need Maya.
Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another.
That's impossible.
Edgeworth can do the finger thing to me, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, he can. Well, Mr. Fuck, wow. My apologies, that had to hurt. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. I knew it. I knew when we found the jar it would be 11307. This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek: the truth. No matter how painful it may be.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. This is the message left by the deceased. Wait, what? I didn't hit the blue badger. This is that blue badger from before, right? Did I accidentally hit the wrong fucking button?
Oh, is he just going to just speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just the jar. Oh. A message was left here on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice, for some reason the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here, drawn in blood.
So what you're saying is these dots were once lines.
We get to play a game of Connect the Dots. Connect the dots and find out who the murderer is.
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given the circumstances: his murderer's name. Good enough. If all you fuckers can't figure out that's an E, you're dumb as hell. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma.
So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind.
Yeah, I know. I love that these two are like working together. Especially because it solidifies my ship even more. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Right, can you shut the fuck up? You don't always have to have the last word. Let the judge talk.
Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice?
What?
We are merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
Order! 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 He got loud there. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. Right now, because I'm not done tight yet. Fuck that shit. But we'll save just in case I fuck up. February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Dude, Ed Gumshoe, I really don't need you right now. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Bye, Dick. Wait, Detective Dick, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day.
You must know the true rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Yeah, you could at least do anything that pertains to your job. God, Wright, you suck. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Okay. I'm ready to do that right now. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth.
The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. Dick's he's starting to hyperventilate. He's like, I can't take anymore. No more bullshit. Not today. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 1252, District Court, Courtroom number 9. You know what? Here's the thing. I understand why he's being the way he is right now. And I kinda understand why Lana did what she did. But they actually have relatively... Gant has relatively pure motives here. Like, as it currently stands, the reason Gant is killed Goodman is because he didn't want Emma to find out that she's actually a murderer, and Goodman was trying to reopen the case. Like, okay, he killed Goodman to hide the fact that he forged the evidence that put Dark away for the fact that Emma murdered somebody. But at the same time, like, the only reason he forged that evidence in order to hide the fact that Emma murdered somebody was to protect Emma. So, like, it feels weird. Usually the criminals in these cases are just pieces of shit that I'm glad are going away. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you called the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls... The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Wait, we're bringing out the real murderer? I thought we were going to bring out Lana to talk to her some more, but okay. I mean, alright, we can bring out Gant. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation, motherfucker.
So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I am the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's this with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Pretty sure if you subpoena him, he doesn't have a fucking choice. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Doc was arrested?
Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Hard and fast. Got it. Just the way I like it from Edgeworth. I don't believe you here. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances.
Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're gonna stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at me. I mean the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker.
But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery?
Lana did admit to forging evidence. But that can't be the whole truth.
Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Oh, you know what I should do real quick? I should actually do what it said to do. No! Fuck. That wasn't what I meant to press. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. That's the only other rule. Fucking hell. Okay. Ugh. Gant fucked with the jar. He must have. It's the only thing that makes sense here. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, he is a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? What do you mean, you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy, Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
Ugh. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. Why is everything super quiet on my mic right now? I don't understand.
My. Kids these days know how to put two and two together.
Here, I'm going to drop this down.
Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office.
Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered.
If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Ooh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
All right, Udgy. In return, though.
I know. That place, right? What are these guys, telepathic? I don't believe him here. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all of this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh!
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 really sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Yeah.
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.